you and I were talking during the break about the sort of hypocrisy of some of these people that want to design a system like this, want to push it through, but will sequester their own children in private schools far away from the negative consequences.
Right. I mean, one of the things that's been very contentious in New York is that our Commissioner of Education, John King, sends his kids to Montessori school. And the Montessori philosophy is totally different from the philosophy that we're finding in schools, because part of this with Common Core is also this culture of testing and continual testing. I mean, the young man alluded to it. They call it data-driven instruction. So that what they promote is that, and it's a charter school philosophy.
Isn't that how bureaucrats work? The only thing that matters to them is numbers on a spreadsheet. You're a number. You're a social security number. You're a statistic. That's all that you are.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly, you know, how it feels, and how it's this constant cycle of testing kids, retesting kids, and not allowing them the space to grow. And then when you put on top of it a lot of worries that some of the standards are not developmentally appropriate. Let me give you an example. One of the standards for kindergarten is that kindergartners should count from 1 to 100 by ones and by tens. Now, that's probably a pretty good goal for a lot of kids. I think my granddaughter will probably be fine with that. But if you really start to look at what developmental psychologists say, if you look at pediatric websites, you see the average kid counts to about 40. So some of the standards that they've created are not really realistic, because what they did was they did this backwalk. They said, this is where we want every senior in the United States to be, so therefore they should be here, they should be here, they should be here, they should be here. That's not how kids grow. Kids don't grow backwards, they grow forward. And they grow.
And these people were once kids themselves, well, and probably have kids.
Yeah, yeah, and it's really, it's just very discouraging. You know, there are countries that have general standards. Finland does, but they're very general. They tend to group in, for example, standards from K to 2. So you have an idea of what kids should be doing.
And they're also the size
level.
of a state in the United States. They're not 309 million plus people.
Yeah, yeah. But these tend to be very, very specific. And the other part of it, too, that's very disconcerting is when we do change in my high school, for example, we have all our 8th graders take algebra. We phased it in. We studied it for a year. We phased it into 6th grade. Then we revised curriculum in 7th. Then we went to 8th grade. What they're doing with these standards is everything at once, like it's baloney slapped against a wall to see what sticks. So the teachers are finding kids are having huge gaps. They're in 8th grade, and the 8th grade math assumes they've had Common Core in 7th grade, 6th grade, 5th grade, 4th grade, and that's not the case. So there are so many problems that, it really is time to just stop, put the brakes on, look at these standards more carefully, have developmental psychologists look at it, and then come up with some kind of a framework that is less prescriptive, that will actually move education forward.